Okay, picture this. It's a freezing March night, 1922. You're on this really remote Bavarian farmstead. Hinterkaifeck.
Right.
Snow's coming down, blanketing everything. Inside, the Gruber family. Well, they're getting ready for bed. They have absolutely no idea what's about to happen.
And that night, uh, it really marks the start of one of Germany's most baffling, um, persistent murder mysteries.
Yeah, 6 people.
6 people, all under one roof,
Ugh.
killed in this incredibly brutal, calculated way that just,
Mhm.
it stumped investigators
Yeah.
for decades.
6 victims in their own home, and the killer just gone. It's incredibly chilling.
It really is.
So our mission in this deep dive is to really unpack the harrowing details of this case. We want to explore how something like this could even happen. Yeah. The killer's actions was so bizarre, and then there were all the rumors swirling around.
Right, the rumors played a huge part.
And the biggest question, why is it still unsolved after all this time? So as we get into this, think about it. What really stands out to you in a case like this?
Okay.
So let's start with the grim reality, the murders themselves. The brutality is just stark. Tell us about the victims, how it all unfolded.
Okay. So the victims were Andreas Gruber and his wife Cecilia. Then there was their daughter, Victoria Gabriel.
Right.
And Victoria's own daughter, also named Cecilia, and her little boy, Joseph, who was just 2.
Oh, wow. A toddler.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then Maria Baumgartner. She was the new maid. It was literally her first day on the job.
Her first day. That's awful.
It's terrible timing. So the killer, it seems, lured the 4 adults, Andreas, his wife Victoria, and the older Cecilia, one by one, into the barn.
Into the barn, not in the house.
Not initially, no.
Yeah.
In the barn. And there, each one was struck down with a mattock. It's like a heavy pickaxe.
One by one.
Yeah. Then their bodies were stacked up, covered with hay.
So methodical, almost like the killer was waiting for each person. That's
Yeah.
deeply unsettling. What about the little boy, Joseph, and the new maid? Were they in the barn too?
No, they were still inside the farmhouse. 2-year-old Joseph was asleep in his crib. Maria Baumgartner was in her bed in the maid's room,
Okay.
and they were murdered there, in their beds, inside the house.
And the thing that always gets me, nothing was stolen, right?
That's right. Nothing appeared to be taken. Money, valuables, all still there.
So what did investigators think? That detail seems crucial. It immediately suggests this wasn't about robbery.
Exactly. It pointed towards something, well, something far more personal.
Uh-oh.
Sinister.
Right. The killer didn't come for valuables.
He came for them. But here's where it gets, truly disturbing.
Okay.
Investigators figured out the killer stayed in the house for at least 3 days after the murders.
Wait, what? They stayed? With the bodies there? How did they know that? And what does that even suggest?
They did. The evidence showed someone had been eating meals in the kitchen.
No.
Yeah. Someone fed the livestock, the cows and chickens, and even get the fire going in the fireplace.
So they were just living there, among the dead.
Pretty much. Effectively living with the corpses. It paints this picture of someone deeply disturbed, or maybe intimately connected to the victims somehow. Not your typical hit-and-run killer.
That just defies, well, everything you'd expect. That level of comfort almost. It's horrifying.
It really challenged the investigators back then. It suggested a level of depravity or maybe familiarity they just couldn't grasp.
This lingering presence. It really hammers home that personal motive idea, not just some random act. So what were people saying? What were the rumors in town about the family?
Well, this case immediately dredged up all the local gossip. Dark rumors have been floating around for years.
About what?
Mainly about an alleged incestuous relationship between Andreas Gruber, the father, and his daughter Victoria.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the rumor was that little Joseph, Victoria's son, might have actually been Andreas' child. The townspeople knew about these whispers, and it cast this really dark shadow over the family long before the murders.
That's incredibly disturbing. If any of that was true, it paints a picture of a deeply toxic environment inside that house.
Exactly.
Which definitely opens up the possibility of revenge or something like that as a motive.
Indeed. It became, one of the main theories they pursued.
Yeah.
And it led them to Victoria's former lover, a man named Lorenz Schlittenbauer.
Schlittenbauer. Okay. He was a suspect.
A prime suspect, yeah. He was actually one of the people who supposedly discovered the bodies.
Yeah.
But his behavior afterwards was, well, really strange.
Oh, so?
People reported seeing him move the corpses around at the scene before officials got a proper look. And he apparently unlocked doors that he himself had claimed were sealed when they first arrived.
Yeah.
Just odd things.
That sounds incredibly suspicious. Moving bodies, unlocking doors. Why wasn't he arrested?
Well, remember, this is 1922. Forensics were, let's just say, Basic.
Right, no DNA, limited fingerprinting.
Exactly. No reliable fingerprint evidence was collected or possible to collect in the way we do now. There were no eyewitnesses to the actual crime. And ultimately, there was just no concrete, irrefutable proof tying him or anyone else directly to the murders.
So suspicious behavior isn't enough.
Not nearly enough for a conviction, especially back then.
Yeah.
This case really highlighted the limitations they face. It's kind of a textbook example of why forensic science needed to evolve. A foundational cold case, really, because of what couldn't be done.
Okay, let's talk about the crime scene itself. There was something really strange about footprints, wasn't there?
Yes, that's one of the most baffling parts. They found a single set of footprints in the snow leading to the house.
Okay.
But none leading away.
None. How is that possible? It sounds like the killer just vanished into thin air.
Or they didn't leave immediately. Some investigators started to wonder if the killer stayed nearby, maybe even hidden somewhere on the property, like the attic.
The attic? Why the attic?
Because Andreas, the father, had apparently told neighbors he'd heard footsteps up there in the attic before the murders happened.
He heard someone walking around upstairs.
Yes. And that ties into other weird things like house keys going missing days before the attack and a strange newspaper turning up in the house that none of the family recognized.
So you're suggesting this person might have been hiding in the house watching them, maybe for days before they attacked? That's terrifying.
Yes, that's the theory. That the victims were being observed, maybe for days, maybe even weeks.
Wow.
And get this, the previous maid, she hadn't just left. She'd quit specifically because she claimed the house was haunted.
Haunted. What did she report?
She said she heard footsteps, whispers, noises she couldn't explain, and she constantly felt like she was being watched.
Okay, so you've got this potentially really troubled family dynamic, these unexplained noises beforehand, the previous maid fleeing in fear, a new maid arriving literally the day before, and then this incredibly methodical, brutal massacre followed by the killer just hanging around. It's like a perfect storm of dread.
It absolutely is. And investigators looked at everything over the years. I mean, everything. Conspiracy theories, revenge plots, mental illness, even, as you mentioned, paranormal explanations.
But nothing stuck.
None of them fit all the pieces perfectly. You know, in cold cases like Hinterkaifeck, it's often not just the violence that's haunting, it's the complete lack of a clear motive or any kind of logical trail. It defies explanation.
How many people did they actually look at?
Over 100 suspects were questioned over the decades. A massive investigation, really, spanning generations.
And still no arrests.
No arrests were ever made. It's quite astounding.
It really is. What do you think this case teaches us, or maybe what frustration does it leave for, modern crime investigation? And what's its legacy in Germany now?
Well, the frustration is obvious. It's the irresolvability. It shows how even the most intense efforts can be just completely blocked by a lack of that crucial piece of evidence, or maybe just a very cunning killer.
Yeah.
As for its legacy, it's become part of the German national psyche, a kind of cautionary tale, almost folklore. The farmhouse itself. It was torn down eventually back in the 90s. Locals felt it was cursed, basically.
I can understand that.
And even today, every year on the anniversary, you still get journalists, historians, true crime buffs, just curious people gathering near the site, hoping for, I don't know, some clue, some feeling.
But there's nothing there now.
Only silence.
Yeah. The kind of silence that feels louder than words sometimes. I can almost picture the snow still falling there, covering secrets.
Exactly. The story of Hinterkaifeck, it's not just about murder. It's really a story about a family maybe doomed by secrets, a whole town shrouded in suspicion, and this mystery that's just buried under the snow, literally and figuratively.
And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Who do we trust? Our neighbors, people close to us, our families.
Or maybe,
Maybe not even ourselves sometimes.
because evil doesn't always knock on the door. Sometimes it's already inside.